Hey guys, it's your niche coach, Alicia Lester. I am here with you today and I appreciate you all. Today on Get Your Shit Together, we are going to talk about it's not all about you. Let me move some things over for a second. I think that the topic today is huge because sometimes you always think that certain things are all about you, or a direct punch or a direct dig at you. So I want you guys to click subscribe because I don't want you to miss any of the things that I have to say. I want you guys to be able to go back and listen to the video, watch the video, share it, comment. Follow me on all social media. Follow me on both Instagram and Facebook. The Niche Coach on Facebook, The Niche Coach on Instagram. You can also follow my main page, Alicia Lester Brima, if you need to, no problem, or author Alicia Lester. You can also hit up the website at niche-coach.com for any of your coaching needs. Today, I'm talking about the fact that it is not always about you. And like, where you get that from? Like, what made you want to even talk about that? And that is because sometimes, as people, as humans, because we're human, sometimes you will get so caught up in your own issues and your own problems that you forget that other people are going through things as well. Just because you think somebody's life is perfect or doing good or they don't have as many issues as you does not mean that they are not dealing with things, and does not mean that they are not having issues. So sometimes people can't always reach out and say things to you or do things for you because they are currently battling their own storm. So sometimes you have to step back and think about that. If you send somebody a text message and you're talking to them and you're asking for some advice or some help or something like that, and they don't respond, it doesn't mean that they're acting funny or that they're different now, or they're so caught up in their relationship that they don't have time for you, or, sometimes people are dealing with their own things. Just because you might be having an issue financially don't mean that I'm not going through something physically. Just because and vice versa. If the doctor just told me that I have a terminal disease or I have an illness or I have something, I'm really not worried about the fact that you can't pay your Netflix bill or that you can't do whatever, just something. I'm just thinking of something. Sometimes I'm battling a storm also. Sometimes I just can't get back to you right now. Sometimes. Now, not right now doesn't mean ever. It just means that right now I'm going through things also. And maybe I don't want to share what it is that I'm going through. Maybe I'm so just in the midst of my storm that I just don't have the strength in me to share it with you. You got to think about those things too before you count people out and before you write people off and say that they are, not worried about you or they're not thinking about you. Sometimes I'm battling the same mental health challenges that you may be battling. Mine just in a different package. Maybe mine's just look a little better, a little different. I remember a situation where there was someone that I knew. She was very upset with a friend of hers because she had been dealing with some things financially, and she told the friend about it, and then the friend had went out and bought a new car, and so she's like, I'm telling her that I'm going through some things financially, and here she goes out and buys a new car. She don't even offer to help me. Well, first of all, it's not her responsibility to help you. It's not her responsibility at all to help you. She doesn't have to do anything. You told her because you wanted her to be an ear to listen. Come to find out, the friend's man is who purchased the car for her, because she had been dealing with her credit issues and some issues financially and all that kind of stuff. But she didn't owe her that explanation. And her man definitely didn't owe the friend that explanation. It's just once it all came out, that's just kind of what it was. But you have to know that you are not the only one that's weathering a storm. We all have different things that we are dealing with. We all have different things that we are going through. So if everybody just wrote someone off because of they didn't respond, or because, honey, I would have been wrote off a long time ago. When I lost my mother, I didn't know whether I was coming or going. I couldn't. But I couldn't respond to anybody else and deal with whatever they had going on because I had been knocked off my square completely. But I also realized anyone that didn't understand that during that time, they weren't supposed to be in my life anyway. If you can't understand that sometimes I go through a storm also, then we're not supposed to be friends. We're not supposed to be acquainted. How did we become friends to begin with? Because I have things that I go through also. You have things that you go through also. And you don't have to give anyone an explanation about those things. You don't owe anyone an explanation about those things. You know, people know how to come back around when the storm is over, or when things are, where you can breathe, or your head is above water now, or it's not so bad anymore, or it doesn't hurt so bad anymore. Sometimes I can't listen to you because maybe the doctor gave me a cancer diagnosis, or or just a COVID diagnosis, or honey, I might just have the flu. Child, I might just have a runny nose and don't feel like being bothered with anybody. These allergies and sinuses may be cutting up so bad that I just don't have the capacity to listen today. And that's okay, because that's not what makes me a horrible friend. That's not what makes me a bad friend. I'm dealing with something, and I don't have to pick up my phone and say, hey, I'm dealing with something. So I shouldn't have to do that. You should love and know and understand me enough to know that I would never do anything intentionally to hurt you, to disregard you, or to make you feel unappreciated. So you have to think about those things before you write people off. Figure out what you can do in a situation to make it better for you. What can you do? Sometimes calling people, that's not the help. That's not the help that you need. Telling somebody, that's not always the help that you need. Sometimes you got to get with yourself and figure out, how can I figure this situation out? How can I make this better? So by the time that person call you back, you say, girl, I did need you, but I got it. I figured it out. I got it now. I'm all good now. How are you? That's what you do. That's what you do. Or you shoot a text message to the person and say, hey, haven't heard from you in a long time. Just wanted to say, hey, wanted to send some positive vibes your way. Tell you that I'm thinking about you. I appreciate you. I love you. I was thinking of you. That's what you do. And then you don't sit by the phone and wait for that person to message you back. And even if you see that the person read it and they haven't messaged you back, sometimes that person on the other end just don't have it in them to respond. Sometimes you just can't respond. When my mother was battling COVID in the hospital, people were texting her cell phone and they were like, I've been thinking about you. I tried to call you. You ain't answer. What's going on with you? What's going on? What's going on? You ain't even said nothing back. You ain't even respond to my messages. Now I wanted to be like, who you talking to? You know what I'm saying? But I didn't. Those mama's friends. She had one friend. Mama had one good friend that said, I'm just calling to check on you. I love you and I'm here. That's it. That's it. Now, granted, by the time I was able to respond back to that woman, my mother had then passed. But I never forgot the fact that she said, I just love you when I'm checking on you. Ain't heard from you. I just love you when I'm checking on you. Had no idea my mother could not breathe enough to send a text message. She wasn't in her right mind enough to respond back to anybody. She already didn't hardly know how to work the phone, so it was just tough. But the fact that one woman said, girl, I'm just thinking about you. I just want to send you some love and tell you that I was thinking about you. That is a real friend, and that's what meant so much to me in my mother's passing. You know what I'm saying? But for people that was like, you said you was going to call me. You said, well, she can't. And now she will never. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know that people, if it's unlike them to respond back to you, chances are they may be going through something also. If it's unlike me to smile when I see you, or to wave, or to, to not do any of those things that I would normally do, you have to know that there's something going on with me. That, or I didn't see you. Okay? But it doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean I'm not thinking about you. It doesn't mean that you are not in my heart. Once you are in there, it's kind of hard to get you up out of there, child. You got to do some real damage to get up out of here. So you have to know that it's just not all about you. And I want you to know that throughout this whole entire life, it's not just about you. Say it with me. It's not all about me. It's not. One more time. It's not all about me. Not at all. So I want you guys to get that because it's super, super important. I see a lot of people every single day, social media and just out in the world, period. And they will write someone off simply because that person did not respond. So-and-so said they would loan me some money and they didn't. It's okay. Maybe they didn't have it and they just didn't know how to tell you. I get it. I get it. One of my favorite cousins was getting married some years back. And if any cousin should have been there, it most definitely should have been me. Me and this cousin, extremely close and all of that. And I was going through one hell of a storm financially. One hell of a storm financially. And I didn't know whether I was coming or going. But people assumed that because I owned a business and because I worked every day and all of that, I only had one child, that I had it like that. And I didn't. And so while they were making the plans to go and all that, I didn't even know how to open my mouth and say, I'm not going to make it, fam. I'm not going to be able to be there. I'm not going to be able to, but I love you. Now, I do know that he would have understood, but at that time, it hurt me more than I thought it would hurt him. It hurt me. And so I didn't say anything. And so they went on and they got married and all of that. And they got back and I'm liking photos and I'm super excited. And inside I'm crushed. I'm so, so crushed because all I had to do was open my mouth and say, I can't do it. But because it weighed so heavily on me, because I just continued to think about it and think about it and think about it, I brought it up. I brought it up one good day. I said, I just want to stop for a second and I want you to know that I'm sorry. And he was like, for what? And I was like, because I was not there for you. And I told you that I would be, but I wasn't there for you. I didn't have it. I didn't know how I was going to get it. If I would have came, it would have wiped me out. And he said, man, that's all it was. I thought I did something wrong. I said, no, you didn't do anything wrong. You didn't do anything wrong at all. It just hurt me to hurt you. It hurt me so much, and I've carried this along with me for all of this time, and I just want to tell you that I'm sorry and that I love you. We hugged, we shook hands, cousins again. You know what I'm saying? Like, we never stopped being cousins, but I'm just saying, he understood. He completely understood that things happen, and stuff just comes up. Life happens, guys. Life happens. I had been carrying this around with me for so long, family functions, gatherings, all kind of stuff. I'm just holding on to this. I just want to bust out and say, I'm sorry, And it was just so crazy because he's like, I got you. I got you and I love you and I appreciate you. Thank you. But just, you don't owe me anything because I know you love me. Sometimes it's simply that. Sometimes somebody is going through something so much that they just don't even know how to tell you or don't know how to let you know, don't know how to express what it is that they're feeling or that they're going through. Sometimes it hurt them more because they feel like they are hurting you. So cut them some slack. Cut them some slack. Continue to love on them. Continue to be there. It's okay. Because guess what? Honey, that brother was going to get married whether I showed up or not because the most important piece of that was already there. And that was his wife. So it wasn't about me. It was about, So you have to just always step on the opposite end of that thing. Just know that sometimes you deal with things too. You go through things also. And sometimes life just goddamn happens. And it's okay. It doesn't make you less of a friend, a person, a family member, a sister, or a brother. Sometimes you just ain't got it. And it's okay that you don't have it because we all go through that in life. Don't count other people's pockets. When you count other people's pockets, you get let down every single time. So don't assume I have it and you can get it because you don't know what these finances are tied to. You don't know what it is that I have to do. I had bills before I had you. You know what I'm saying? And I got to pay them before I get to you. What I look like giving to you and I ain't paid my bill. That ain't right because hell, I can't come live with you because you damn near out on your ass. You know what I'm saying? So you always have to think about that when you are putting your mouth onto other people. I'm not saying that it don't hurt. I'm not saying that it don't make you feel some kind of way. You human. But you are also human and mature and old enough to know and understand that everybody is not out to mistreat you. Everybody's not out to hurt you. And the kind of person that I am, when you call me and ask me for help, that's a problem for me. Don't call me and ask me for help. Call me and just talk to me. Call and talk to me, especially if I hadn't heard from you in a long time. Your best bet is to call me and talk to me. You can run through whatever's going on in your life and all of that. And at the end of that conversation, if I feel like I can help you, if I feel like I want to help you, if it's put on my heart to help you, check your Cash App. I just might. If it ain't, then it's not. But at least I got a chance to hear your voice. At least I got a chance to see how you're doing. At least I got a chance to know that you took the time out to love on to me as I do to you. So don't always look for things in return for people. Don't always look for people to do things for you. Sometimes just call and say hello. It can take you very far. So think about those kinds of things when you are in contact with other people and you are so ready to say who's doing for you and who's not doing for you. Newsflash. No one has to do anything for you. No one owes you anything. You owe everything to yourself. Them kids don't owe you anything. It's not that man's responsibility to make sure you're happy. Child, you got to be happy before you let him in the door. You have to be okay in here before you let her in the door. You have to. So don't look to other people to make you happy. Don't look to other people to brighten your day. Don't look to other people to make sure you woke, you wake up, or you do this. Gain some responsibility for yourself. Take control over your own life. And do what it is that you need to do. Sometimes you won't even need to call those people. Sometimes you really honestly just calling and say, what's up? You really honestly just calling and say, hey, how you doing? Sometimes it's just that because you've already figured it out. I love a person that figured it out already. I love a person that already did it. I'm that kind of person. One time I was moving from one house to the other, and I had asked one of my uncles to help me move. Now, this is my uncle that loved a beer or 2 or 12, whatever the pack may hold. And so I remember paying this uncle to move all of my furniture, to do, from one spot to the next. He said, okay, no problem. And I paid him up front. Wrong thing to do when they like a pack of 2 or 12, okay? And so I paid him to do it. And the day I was supposed to move, the day I needed to be out of one space to go to the other, I couldn't find him. Child, I couldn't find him. It must have been a 12 pack because I couldn't find his ass at all. And so I went looking, but my time was narrowing down. Listen to me. Let me tell you what I did. I had already got this U-Haul truck. I had already did what I needed to do. I moved every single small piece myself. I moved everything back and forth, back and forth, back and forth myself. I moved these items. I loaded them. I packed them up. I did all of that. Chairs, everything. I did all of that. Table. I said, worst come to worst, I can flip it over and I can drag it. If that's what I need to do, that's fine. I know how to polish it up and make it look good. It's okay. I did all of that. It was 2 sofas and a love seat. No, it was a sofa and a love seat that was left to be moved. I didn't know what I was going to do. Child, I went up there to Home Depot and I happened to find somebody that was they had a hauling truck or whatever. And I told myself, well, you don't even have to use that truck. You don't have to do that. I already got a U-Haul. I already got this, that, and the other. And I got to take the U-Haul back in about an hour and a half. And if you can just help me, I'll pay you, no problem. I'll absolutely pay you. The man said, well, I work for this company, but I'm off in about 30 minutes. So I can just come with you if that's okay. Lord, I took a whole chance on my life. Do you hear me? Because I don't even know who that man was. But he looked like he wanted to work more than he wanted to hurt me. And we did it, and we moved it, and we got it done. Now I wasn't waiting. So then my uncle called me the next day, and he said, hey, niece, I'm ready. Ready for what? Ready to get cussed out? Ready to get this ass whooping? What are you ready to do exactly? I said, don't you worry about it. I already got it. He said, oh, man, but you already paid me. I said, I did. So just put that toward whatever the next 12 pack is that you might need, because I'll never use your services again in my whole life. But I love you, Unc, and I appreciate you. I figured it out. I had to figure it out. There's no way in the world that I could sit there and just not do what it is that I needed to do. I had to make it happen myself. Because I had to understand that everybody is doing something, dealing with something, going through something. My uncle was going through something. He was. That's why he needed the whole 12 pack. And that's fine. That is absolutely fine. I had to realize that, next time I just find somebody's a little bit more dependable, a little bit more reliable. I already knew. I just wanted to give it to my uncle first before I gave it to anybody else. But I already knew because it's my uncle. You know what I'm saying? So know that you can figure it out. Know that there are some things that you can just figure out on your own, and you don't have to wait for anybody. You don't have to wait for an explanation. You don't have to wait for a text back. Child, I send text messages and I go on about my business. I ain't waited by a text message since I sent a brother a long text message a long time ago about why he cheated on me, and he responded with, okay. Okay? So I don't even waste my time trying to figure out and wait by my phone to see if a person is going to respond or how they're going to respond or what. I don't even do it. Child, I send it and I'm done. And that's it. That's it. Don't be so controlled by people and what people have going on that you forget that you got all the power within you to be and do what it is that you need to do. Get it done. Figure it out. Knock it out. Learn to depend and focus solely on yourself. I tell my daughter all the time, focus on who? She said, Bailey. Focus on who? Joshie. Focus on yourself. Focus on yourself and figure it out. Take the steps you need to take and figure it out, because this mama is going to always make sure she can figure out what it is that she needs to do. If I'm in this house putting some things together and I need a little bit of help, honey, my husband, you get 2 chances. I asked you once. I asked you again. I'm not going to ask you 3 times. Just know whoever this next man is that come in his house, honey, he's the one that's here to put up, fix, whatever. I don't know his name. Say hello. Be friends. I don't know. I just know that I asked you twice and you didn't listen. So I had to take matters into my own hands and make it happen. Make things happen for yourself. Figure it out. Stop writing people off, because people are going through things also. Everybody's life don't rise and set on you. Okay? I know you're amazing to some people, but you're not amazing to everybody. Okay? And if you are, I'm going to need you to take your amazing ass on somewhere and figure it out. Okay? You know the people in your life that don't, that's not there for you. You know who's not there for you. And it's not the people that you just wrote off just now. It's the people that's still in your ear that's not even trying to help you. You trying to write off the ones so bad. You trying to write off the ones that you asked for help one time and they couldn't do it. You've completely, moved out or blacked out all the times that they have been there, that they have helped you. But the one time that they didn't, you write them off, but you allow these other little flies and gnats to be in your ears and talk to you, and they can't even do anything for you. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Sometimes those people are weathering a storm that these people will never understand. Okay? So you got to think about those things. I appreciate you all. I thank you for taking the time out once again to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Again, I'm your niche coach, Alicia Lester. Click subscribe. I thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Keep checking back. Turn on those notifications so you can see when I'm coming. I'm always coming with something good. I'm always speaking from experience. While I continue to do what it is that I need to do, I need you guys to get your shit together in the meantime. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Bye-bye.